Skip and Sharon, hosts of the Psychic Spectrum radio show, are a prominent psychic couple. Besides hosting an exciting weekly radio show, they offer fans the Psychic Showcase and a fascinating speakers bureau. And their Talking to the Other Side events are not to be missed. Join their live events and even schedule a private psychic reading. Get started at psychicspectrum.com. That's psychicspectrum.com.
TechTime Radio is brought to you today by Nutility, the platform that makes utility management seamless by selecting your service providers, splitting a single bill amongst roommates, and then shutting off your service when it's time for you to move out. Nutility reviews your preferences and sets up all the utilities for you. This provides you with the best local provider in your service area. It's much easier than splitting up your bills between roommates. No more late Larry not being able to get to you on time to make the payments, and no more Venmo charges or PayPal charges. One place to do your billing so that everybody pays on time. Now, how can you use this great service from Nutility, you ask? Aha! Well, you can absolutely get it now and get 3 months for free. That's correct. If you go to Nutility.com, again, it kind of sounds like utility, but it's Nutility.com. Use the tech code 3, and again, that's NUTILITI.com. Get your first 3 months for free using the code TECH3.
Ah, a package. You know what this human ordered? A backache. Consider pain delivered. Pain says you can't. Advil says you can.
Hey Mike, I know your camera must be bursting with over hundreds and thousands of photos. I know this because the average family produces 3,000 plus photos per year.
Yeah, I'm not the average family. But, you know, I might even be higher, though, because I'm considered a point-and-shoot expert.
I also know that instead of enjoying your photos, they are a source of stress and anxiety because you just don't have the time to deal with them. And they sit on your phone or a memory card or on the cloud, and you never share them with anyone.
Actually, I don't have that problem because I use a service called Memory My Way. It's where the modern family gets the help they need to rescue those memories from the cloud.
What? Mike, if I could only imagine having a plan in place to get those memories into photo books year after year. That just takes forever.
Well, tech guy, with a membership at Memory My Way, this plan is baked right into the heart of the whole thing. Members learn exactly how to get organized and in control, back up the right way, and the very best part is, everyone is paired with a professional designer who custom creates each book, saving members tons of time.
Plans start as low as $39 a month. The monthly fee includes it all. Ready and waiting for you to tell your unique story. Your memory shouldn't be lost to the cloud or your devices.
Yep, that's www.memorymyway.com. And you can just go out there and become a point-and-shoot expert today.
Tech Time listeners, a special for you. If you sign up, we will give you $5 off your first month. That's right, $5 off your first month by putting in the code TechTime at checkout. Visit them today, www.memorymyway.com. And tell them Nathan and Mike sent you.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mum.
Those commercials are so silly, dude.
I love doing those. You know what? Those are the Hey Mike commercials.
I know. They're just silly.
They are. But you know what? They're fun to do too, aren't they?
They are fun. We sit around laughing about it. Takes us like 5 minutes to actually do the commercial, but we laugh for like an hour. So
we do. And then my poor wife comes on out at 10 o'clock.
Oh, she was so mad.
Oh,
the other night.
She was mad. We were out there. She's like, "Isn't your production show already over by like 9?" And I'm like, "Oh no, we're just out here just goofing off." She's like,
Yeah, she was like, Now,
come in here.
Get in. Get at her now.
All right. Welcome to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mum, the show that makes you go, I'm Nathan Mum. We got Mike Corday there. Welcome to our live stream studio Saturday from 4 to 5 p.m. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and KKNW 1150 a.m. If you saw our little show, that said 6:05 today, but that's okay. We're coming our normal time. We'll always do our normal time. We just accidentally hit the wrong button on the StreamYard stuff that I did, so I apologize to anybody.
Fault?
Yeah, it was my fault. Of course
good.
It was my fault. I wish I was more technical than I could actually do stuff here. You know that?
User error.
That's right. Okay, well, Make sure that if you're listening to this podcast and it's not on Saturday, then you're listening to a rebroadcast. So make sure you visit techtimeradio.com to keep up on all the latest information.
Mm-hmm.
We're a 1-hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. We highlight top technology news for the week, along with segments that bring different perspectives and highlighted topics. We're live on Facebook. We also have Super Chat now available, so if you want to go to YouTube during the broadcast and Super Chat,
yes,
you can do that, and you can even be a member of our Elite Gang on Facebook. So we have like
Elite Gang?
We have like
gang?
a $9 Elite Gang.
Oh, that's right.
A $24.
There's a $50 one?
Yeah, I think it's $49 if you want to
be a producer.
You could be a producer of the show, and then you can hang out with us until the middle of the night.
And get in trouble.
Funny. That's right, like we do all the time. All right, well, we're really excited to be here, Mike. Thank you for joining us each and every week. Now, we are going to start out with the most important question of the day, which is our loaded question, only for you to answer. Here we go. If you were the last person on Earth, where would you go?
Anywhere I damn well please.
That's right. That's right. You can probably go anywhere that you wanted to, can't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever watch that show that, it was like The Last Man on Earth? And he's like in this RV.
That was a comedy.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. But then all of a sudden, everybody started showing on up in.
Yeah, he was in Tucson, Arizona, which is the area I was from.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. Okay. Well, today we have special guests. We have world-renowned TED and security expert Nick Espinoza, the CEO of Security Fanatics. He's going to be talking about hackers stealing Mimecast, not Minecraft, but Mimecast, which is a security solution provider for Office 365 credentials. All a part of the Solarwinds thing that I talked about a long time ago. So we're going to see about that. So the company that you pay to protect your Office 365 got hacked. That's fantastic, right? So they're supposed to be the experts.
That's awesome.
And now they got hacked. We are also, though, we got back Phil Hennessy from...
Hennessy.
Oh, I said it wrong. Phil Hennessy,
right.
From Morpheus Tech. He brought in, we have a device here. He did not make our CES show because we ran out of time last week, so he is our priority guest today.
That's the thing that yelled at me when I came in from walking up all those stairs.
It did. It tells you if you have a mask on, if you have a temperature on, absolutely. And then we have the CEO, Kyle Rann. He's the creator of Rendever, a VR experience aiding seniors. So this is really a cool device that was pretty cool. That is absolutely. So we got packed information and we got packed guests for our today's show. It was really neat. Our production group said last week's show was one of the best. They said because we talked the least amount. That's what they said on there.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
I don't remember them bagging on us that much.
Well, no, I don't think they. You know what? They said that it was because they had interesting guests. You're right.
Yeah, we had interesting guests.
Now, if you want to ask a technology question right now, jump on the phone. You can call us at 1-888-298-5569, and David will pick up the phone and we'll get you a question on the air with one of our guests if you have a technology questions. Or you can hashtag us at TechTime Radio on Twitter. Again, that's hashtag or # or the waffle maker.
The waffle key.
The waffle key. TechTime Radio, and we'll ask our guests questions during the show. We always have our whiskey tasting, so we'll either give a thumbs up, a thumbs down. We have Old Elk, and I've
already given it a thumbs up because it's bourbon.
It's pretty good.
You brought in bourbon this week.
So it's some whiskey bourbon. It's a whiskey bourbon, though. So it still kind of counts a little bit as whiskey, right?
Well, yeah.
Sure. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to keep on going. Now,
it's still bourbon.
All right. Let's get our episode started with our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, welcome to Top Stories in the first 5 minutes of the show. Story number 1. We're going to be talking about apps today. Apps. Story number 1 comes to us from a listener sharing an important news update regarding Apple. They sent this out at techtimeradio.com and said Apple announced on Tuesday that hackers may have exploited security bugs in its operating system. As a precaution, Apple has instructed iPhone and iPad users to immediately update their software to iOS 14.4. The flaws discovered affect the following devices: an iPhone 6s or later. So essentially,
that means your iPhone 12 is in trouble.
Yep. iPad Air 2 and later, iPad Mini 4 and later, and an iPad Touch 7th generation.
That's
so essentially,
that's a long time.
everything. So
that's a long time ago.
yeah. So essentially, anything that you have from Apple, if you haven't upgraded it to 14.4, essentially individuals are able to take access of your devices through their operating system Air that they had out there and not securely patched. And so you could all of a sudden have somebody from China or the Netherlands or any place else get access to your Apple device. So please, as a service announcement, upgrade your iOS to 14.4.
Amazon Walk, whatever that is.
All right. Story number 2. Now, you know a little bit about this. This was your story that you put together. Bumble.
Yeah.
The online dating company led by Tinder co-founder Whitney Wolf Hurd recently filed its IPO paperwork, adding fuel to rumors that it made its stock market debut just in time for Valentine's Day. Yes, so it is listed under stock ticker BMBL. Bumble was founded in 2014 as an alternative to Tinder. Bumble requires women searching for matches to make the first move, the idea being that this feature would allow women to make their own choices, and it's taken off. The headquarters is in Austin, and it's now becoming a household name. And they have additional services that include professional networking, which is Bumble Biz, and they also have Bumble BFF to find new friends. So tell me about Bumble. I have never done any of the online dating stuff. So how does Bumble work?
Well, it's very much like Tinder, but like the thing says, the woman has to make the initial contact.
Reach out.
So she reaches out, and then you can have a contact back and forth. Until then, you don't, which is kind of cool. I understand from talking to other women on these types of apps that it's kind of hard for them on things like Tinder because they get all kinds of creepiness going on.
Okay. So you kind of just put your profile out there, your picture, and then if they have an interest, they engage you. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah. You'd still do the same thing that you do on like Tinder and stuff. You look at profiles and swipe left or right. I mean, it's the same platform, but you match with someone and then you don't know that you match. And then they contact you, and then you can strike up a...
So you're going to buy some Bumble stock then?
Maybe.
That and GameStop. We'll be talking about that now.
Yeah, GameStop, yeah.
All right. Story number 3. Story number 3.
You haven't had any whiskey yet.
I have not had any whiskey yet. Google is actively removing negative reviews of apps in the Google Play Store. So money can buy you power and a better rating on Google.
This is the interesting one.
So this is it. So this is like a 3-part little question here in story, right? So disgruntled individuals from Robinhood users organized a 1-star review on Google Play Store and succeeded to review bomb it all the way down to a 1-star rating.
Yeah.
The company has now had them deleted enough so that the reviews are back to a near 4-star rating. So Google went in and took care of it. Now, we're going to talk about why, because Robinhood came under intense scrutiny on Thursday after this is a stock trading app announced it would block purchases of GameStop, AMC, and other stocks made popular by the Wall Street Beats subreddit group, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So let's break this down. Robinhood's an app.
Robinhood is an app.
It's a financial app that people can use.
Yep, you can
buy stock. You can buy stock and you can sell stock.
Right.
All of a sudden on Thursday, they decided that any of their customers were not allowed to buy GameStop, AMC, and other stocks that were on a Reddit forum. So essentially, they locked up the people's money so that they couldn't sell their stock and they couldn't get their stock out. So those people got very upset, took to Google Play Store, and they gave everybody a 1-star review because they were upset.
Equivalent of a run on a bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden, Google didn't like that. So they decided to go in and alter the ratings because they didn't think it was fair. But really what wasn't fair is that the people had to not be able to sell their stock or purchase their stock because it was on hold by this app that's supposed to let people purchase stocks.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on except Thursday. I just saw a lot of these tweets coming out about how sucky Robinhood was.
Yes.
I didn't actually follow up, but I was like, wow, I wonder what this is all about.
So now let's talk about it. So this Wall Street Breach is a Reddit-led group, and it created a feeding frenzy that has sent the shares of GameStop skyrocketing all the way up to $483 on Thursday. It's up from $17.25 on January 4th, and it was $4 back in December. So stock trading app Robinhood and other brokerages reacted by pressing the panic button Thursday morning to prevent people from buying stocks, including this, AMC, and BlackBerry.
So what's going on here? We have a group of people who are artificially inflating a stock.
Yep.
And the stockbroker or the brokerage firm is saying, oh, crap, we need to stop this from happening. So they put the block on.
So they put a block on.
And then these people retaliate by going on Google
and giving it a one-star rating.
Them a one-star review so that their stock goes down.
Correct.
And Google says, nope, sorry. We're gonna take those away. You can't. That's artificially. But
so Robinhood's in some trouble though. They have a class action lawsuit that were filed with them on Friday for this because essentially they locked up millions and millions of dollars from these investors that were buying it. And it all starts back with this GameStop individual, and this guy has now made like $16 million. This guy he's been buying stock for a long time of GameStop for $4, $5, $4, $5. And all of a sudden he went on to the subreddit group and decided to say, you know what, let's have everybody buy it so that the stockbrokers will get in trouble for everybody that's shorted. And I don't want to go into, I could spend a whole,
there's a whole
episode about shorting stocks here.
There's a whole thing going on here, but this is essentially artificially playing with the market. And
so it's essentially rose up. He sold a bunch of his stock that he bought for $5. What a smart guy, really. I mean, I give him all the credit in the world. Good job for doing that. Just by saying it was great, it's great, it's great, it's great, it's great. And now other apps like Robinhood said you can't buy the stock on here, which then caused it. So it's a whole circle effect. So if you have GameStop stock right now, you're probably sitting in the high chair and just saying that life is the best thing since sliced bread. Yeah. If you were a financial company that invested in the stop orders or selling short the stock, you're probably losing millions of dollars that you've lost. And so it's a very interesting psychology of what happened here.
Yeah.
It was a protest. It was a protest on Reddit to make the stock go high, and essentially they did it.
Yeah, this is the interesting thing about how all the social media platforms and things work in tandem with normal markets and things.
Yep. All right, well, so that we are way over our 5 minutes, but you know what?
We're always
David's over here. He's like, "Come on, guys, go! We got to go to a commercial break."
He's gonna throw a brick at your head.
Yes, I know. So we got our next segment. We're gonna go into gadgets and gears. When we come on back, we have our two guests that will be here, and we're gonna be talking about some great stuff. I'm Nathan Mum. Make sure you hashtag us TechTime Radio, and we'll take a look at your hashtag on Twitter during our break. We'll be sipping some whiskey, and we'll see you after this commercial break.
Hello, Seattle. How would you like to have immediate and easy access to your live EKG and heart rate data? Your data right at your fingertips and with no need to hook up wires and leads or be strapped to a machine at the doctor's office. The new Pulse device from Vivomi continuously tracks your EKG and displays this data on your mobile phone. Have you ever wondered how your EKG and heart rate behaves when you're exercising at the gym, navigating the stressful demands of the workday, or just getting the kids ready for school or relaxing at home? The Pulse is a different kind of wearable, and you can experience this difference by going to www.vivomi.com and ordering your device today.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, the show that takes a positive, forward-looking approach to mid to late career transitions for Gen Xers and Boomers every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock Pacific. Whether you're looking to stay in the traditional workforce, do your own thing, or to retire or semi-retire, Reigniting You is your source for career transition advice, inspiration, and insight for what's next in your career and life. Join me Wednesdays at 3 o'clock to get re-energized, recharged, and reignited.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Have you heard about 180 Consulting?
No.
I love these guys. You know how much I avoid working with copy vendors, right?
Actually, I get to hear about it all the time.
Not anymore, because guess what? The guys at 180 Consulting took over the entire process. They assessed our needs, worked directly with the vendors on my behalf, and helped us understand our option. No sales fluff, just good information so we can make the right decision.
Well, that sounds good. How do they get paid?
Their only compensation comes from a small share of the cost savings they create. They work for us, and it's a win-win.
That sounds like a no-brainer.
There's 2 ways to reach them. You can get them at info@180-consulting.com or visit them online at www.180-consulting.com.
www.180-consulting.com.
Thank you, Mike. 180-consulting.com.
All right, welcome back to TechTime Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mum. We got Mike
was
Corday
your music,
here.
right?
Yeah, it was.
You lied last week.
What's that?
You said it was the intern that found the music.
It was my music. But, I didn't mean to say it like that. I was saying that the interns helped us discuss it during our production meeting. That's correct.
Okay, yeah. Good.
Yes, so that is our meeting. All right, we're coming on back. We are enjoying our Old Elk Wheated Bourbon. This is a 92 proof, $70 bottle. It is a little bit of vanilla caramel. It's got a real potent taste that comes immediately, but there is no burn, and it is soft and soothing.
It is yummy.
And it's got a little bit of red peppers in it too. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already know what I'm going to give this.
You're going to give it. Don't give it a.
Don't give it away.
Don't give it away. All right. Okay. Here we go. Well, we now have to get our drinks taken care of, and we need to move on to our next segment.
So there you go.
There's my after I have that whiskey.
There's your after liquor.
It's always that first little slur. See, David's back there laughing too. We always talk about it. I slur at least a word before I get into the next segment when I come back.
Everybody doesn't know that you do it all the time anyway.
I do it all the time. I butcher the English language. It's my secondary language.
You don't butcher it. You absolutely obliterate it.
All right. Okay, so we're going to go right now to our gadgets and gear.
What's new in our gadgets and gear?
All right, joining us today is Morpheus Tech CEO Phil Hennessy. Hennessy. Why did I say that twice again? Hennessy. I've talked with him twice about this. We had a meeting call.
That's just you.
A leading technologist in robotic, and he's a cutting edge individual that talks about different technologies. Specifically, we're talking about some COVID-19 solutions. As you can see in here, we have a device that can scan and Bluetooth. He's going to be talking about it. Before that, though, we have a little intro piece that we're going to play for him.
COVID tech is playing a leading role in keeping people and businesses safe. Joining us today is Morpheus Tech CEO Phil Hennessy, a leading technologist and roboticist who is working with cutting-edge monitoring technologies. Learn how his company and his partners are solving real problems as the world transitions to the new normal. We will be discussing AI-enabled cloud-based thermal body temperature scanners and AI-enabled social distance monitoring cameras. For more information on these items after the show, please visit morpheustech.com. That is www.morpheustech.com.
Well, Phil, thank you very much for joining us. I want to apologize for you having to wait on last week's episode and then we didn't get to you, so I am so sorry about that, but we're glad that you are here today.
We're glad to be here, Nathan. No worries. And I was enjoying the show last week and listening to all the great people you had on. So like your production staff said, it was a great show last week.
It was. They did say that. They liked it a lot. Hopefully,
it was pretty good.
Hopefully today is even better. We're just going to continue to raise the bar. So we have a device here. So I have a scan badge in here. We're going to have to talk about this. So I got a Bluetooth wand that I can scan myself, and I got a device sitting back right over here against the wall that is a scanning device. We took a look at it. You have one. It looks like you have one in screen there too. So this is, let's talk about this because I have done some consulting specifically with some technology companies, and there's a bunch of crap out there in the market. I'm going to be the very nicest way to say it that doesn't really work, right? That just comes on up. It's fake. It doesn't collaborate correctly. It doesn't run correctly. But your device has some key features that make it absolutely phenomenal, and you have some software to talk about that. So let's get right into it right now. Let's talk about this device.
Great. So, I mean, really, this is the only AI-enabled thermal scanner system in the world right now that we know of that goes to the cloud, and it's HIPAA compliant in the cloud with Google services. So
that's big. That's big because, a lot of these devices, they store the information either on the device itself, which is not HIPAA compliant because anybody can get into it, or they copy it into a computer locally so that anybody can find that information. So that's step number one. It's HIPAA compliant. Perfect.
And with the AI, what that means is that we've trained the camera system to understand face detection, to see a face, right? And then understand where it needs to take the temperature on that face. And so with that data set, we then go ahead and we run it like at your office, and it will continue to learn from the people that come into your office every day and make sure it's the accurate and fastest it can be. So it learns from the people that comes in every day and takes that. And then we can use it in daycares, hospitals, doctors' offices, all those types of things. It's in the cloud, so then you can bring it back down to the computer and see it on a computer and see who came in and if they had a temperature or not, those types of things.
Now that has an app, so I can load an app and it gives me a QR code. And it changes the QR code like every 10 seconds.
Right.
So as much as we were going to print out a QR code and show it on here, it would never have worked because the poor engineers I was talking about said, no, it's going to change it. So that can be done on your phone. So if I have it on my phone and I had it ready to go, I could just come on in and scan it. Or I can use a Prox card like most companies have on the area, and I can scan that. Or I can use, if I don't want to do the temperature there and I'm a little bit away like a preschool or something like that, I can use a Bluetooth-enabled thermometer that can scan my forehead and also work with the system itself. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. And so with the NFC card, like, so if you're at a hospital, right, the nurses come in or the employees come in, they take that, they scan it, they get their temperature taken, and then they can do a survey. Do you have any other symptoms? And it's also your timekeeper, so it can do timestamps. So you can do it for manufacturing and log it into the timekeeping systems, everything. It's enterprise enabled. So it's much more than just a device that sits here. It's got a lot of future think with the way it connects to the cloud and the AI. We can do a lot of other software enablement to it and work with the enterprise or daycare, hospital system, school system, those types of things.
And it's not phonyware. It actually works. So it's not
phonyware?
Yeah, no, it's not. A lot of these companies come on out with stuff and they'll just try to hit the market that doesn't work correctly. And so it's not that. Now, what is your price point on this unit itself? Let's say I wanted one of these for my wife's preschool that already has the Tony box from last week. Let me just tell you, she's becoming a TechTime Radio show supporter. But how much does a unit like this cost?
$24.99 for the enterprise level. We have other price points with different things, but with the type of technology we're talking about today, it's $24.99, and we can work with the customer depending on what services they need. We can bring that price down a little bit, and obviously for volume, if there are schools that would like this or something else, we can work in volume pricing as well.
Perfect, phenomenal. I'll have to go up there and get scanned again. I just like it when it keeps on telling me if I have my mask on or not, so it can detect that.
That's important for you.
That was important for me. That was absolutely okay. Let's talk about the other device that we talked about specifically for CES. And this is a new device, not on the market yet from anywhere, where there is a couple of these thermal scanner type devices that are out there. But this is brand new.
This is brand new. This is really cutting edge. This is a depth sensing camera. So what this can do is in a 20 by 20 room, we put this in a corner, we can see the entire room, and then it has an AI processor in the camera. And then it can track people and tell you if I have a bottleneck somewhere in that room, or say in a retail store, that can tell if two people are within 6 foot distance of each other. And you can anonymize that data or make it so, it's not a person, it's a purple dot. And so we can anonymize the data as well. And really understand if there's a problem in a manufacturing area, school, or a retail store where there's too close together for 6 foot.
So this is a COVID solution. So let's say I go to Walmart, right?
Now, is this something that you would change your environment around because of, or is this something that you would set up for people?
It's well, I'm not sure, when you change your environment, so say for Walmart, say, and they have a retail setup and they start seeing a lot of choke points for people getting within 6 foot each other, then they would change the setup of the store so they can space it out.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. So it's a way to see visually what's happening in your store, your manufacturing plant, if they're having bottlenecks or people coming together with 6 foot at a time.
That is phenomenal. And how much is this? And this is brand new. This is CES released this information. I mean, this was kind of the hot thing.
This is why he was going to be on the show in the first place, right?
Yeah, both of the things. We talked. So we talked for like a good hour. So all the people that are coming up today are all people that I talk with. And so we kind of geeked out nerdy wise too. So, that's like, that's perfect to have you on the show. So this device is new to market. Has it hit the street market value?
It just actually, it's getting out there. We're using it for robotics. And this is one of the products we pivoted from a robotics solution for other things, for sensors, for navigation, to use it for COVID tech. And so this has been out in prototyping and been testing this last year. And they just launched it in January as well. So that's why we took the opportunity to launch it during CES. And I believe it's, again, around $14.99 list price, but it just depends on what we're trying to do with it.
Perfect. Now, Phil, we're going to have you back because we want you to be a part of TechTime Radio with some more technical stuff here in the upcoming weeks. So
yeah, this stuff is really good for you.
I love this type of stuff. I love this type of geek stuff.
You're completely geeked out right now.
Today's episode is so good. I got everybody on here. I really like stuff that was here. So, Phil, I appreciate you guys sending the unit up. We had it tested on Friday, made sure it was working here. We have it in the office. I'd love to show everybody, but it's kind of far away. But we did test it, and it's working perfect. Easy setup. It took, 10 minutes, 5 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, if you can use a cell phone, you can use a browser, you can set this up, right, Nathan? Is that what you found?
It was that simple. It was. Mike, you could even do it too.
Oh, really?
Well, I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry.
What are you trying to say there,
I'm just
Nathan?
saying that it was anybody that uses a phone.
You think I'm a Luddite?
No. Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the program today, and we wish you guys a great weekend.
Thank you very much, Nathan. Yeah, Mike.
All right.
Care.
Bye-bye. So that was Phil. Phil's got a lot of great...
Phil.
That was Phil.
Thanks. Are you reminding me? Sorry.
I'm just looking at it. All right. Now we're going to move and pivot directly to something that I'm really, really excited about. We're going to play an intro music right here for Rendever and listen to what they actually provide.
Since 2016, Rendever's mission has been to overcome social isolation through the power of virtual reality and shared experiences. Loneliness is a rising epidemic. Studies show that it can be as detrimental to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes per day. Our hypothesis at Rendever is that the basis of all human connection is shared positive experience. So our platform was designed specifically to stimulate conversations, build trust, and help people develop meaningful relationships. Here's how it works. A group of older adults will get together, put on virtual reality headsets, and participate in fully immersive experiences as a group. They can travel around the world, check off bucket list items, revisit meaningful places like their childhood homes, and even stay connected to family through personal photos and videos. They can talk about what they're seeing, how they're feeling, memories that remind them of the experience, and ultimately build connections with one another in a really organic way.
All right, and joining us on the program would be CEO Kyle Rann. And so, welcome to the program.
Hey, Nathan. Hey, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Hi, Kyle.
So talk about your VR product. So I loved your VR product, and I know it's not something that consumers are going to just necessarily purchase. It's not that, because you have a target market audience, specifically kind of like senior homes, that you have this. Explain to me how it works. I know how it works. I am so upset that my grandmother has passed and she didn't get to use this, because this would have been awesome. So let me turn the floor over and you can explain your device.
Yeah, honestly, my grandma is one of the big reasons that I started Rendever. We went through the process of moving her into a senior living community. And what we found was that for a lot of people, once you make that transition into a setting like that, the transition can be pretty tough. And a lot of people fall lonely. Right? They don't have the same people. They're not around family all the time. They're not in the same place. And a lot of them kind of turn inward. And not many people understand this, but social isolation, research shows it's as detrimental to one's health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
We're going to be figuring that out sooner than later.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was a different story. A year ago, nobody really knew that. Today, I think after the pandemic, everyone kind of understands that social isolation is scary. And it leads to mental health problems. It leads to physical health problems. So we kind of took the approach that really this technology, VR, right, this headset, you put it on and you can go anywhere in the world and you can do anything. And that is such an amazing thing to offer to someone who otherwise, like, they think that their world has kind of shrunk. But the real power of it is the way that it works within the communities is they will congregate residents into the same room. They'll all put on the VR headset together, and then they're all going to go stand on top of the Eiffel Tower. And they're all looking out over the city of Paris. And the stories that come out of like that initial wow reaction, right? It creates a conversation that a staff member, like we teach our staff how to facilitate, but a staff member can really lead a really engaging conversation that gets people talking, gets people sharing, and gets people to connect. And we actually have research that shows that by doing this on a daily basis for as little as 2 weeks, we see statistically significant decreases in depression, increases in feelings of, in multiple measures of social health, but most interestingly, increases in feelings of trust. So people actually start to trust each other by going and sharing these experiences together, which is pretty fascinating.
So it's great. So they go all into a room. They all put on the VR goggles, and I have a Quest too. So you put on the VR goggles, and then there's a computer tablet that the actual people that's in the home itself, the staff, helps guide the people through the actual tour or event that they're going to experience.
Exactly.
Okay. Is this a pure 3D view, or is this like a video game where you would have an avatar that you could see each other in an avatar phase?
Yeah. So obviously within the pandemic, it's not really possible to bring people into the same room anymore and put them in VR headsets. So we had a pretty comprehensive response to the pandemic for the industry. And one of the applications that we launched is something called the Connection Corner, which allows people to do just that. So every single resident can kind of create their own 3D avatar. Oh, cool. And then after they go and do these virtual experiences, they come into like a virtual family room and they all sit together, and then they still have those conversations just embodied as avatars, which is really fun to see and really fun to kind of partake in too.
So this is phenomenal. Now, the one thing that I wanted to touch base on that you said that really got me is that you have integrated with Google Maps where you can actually take the people back to their houses that they grew up in, their family houses. Explain a little bit about that.
Yeah. So one of my favorite things is if you ask someone, you can go anywhere in the world. Where do you want to go? Pretty much everybody says, I want to go back to my childhood home. Because when you get to go back there in person, right, it's something that you just hold on to it, especially when you think about about seniors, and specifically seniors who are kind of more on the memory care spectrum. Being able to go back to those meaningful places from their past and, feel like they're standing in front of their childhood home for the first time in 60, 70, 80 years, right? It's kind of magical. And the reason is because that stimulus it's so significant, right? It's everything that you see is your childhood home, right? You look down the street and you see your neighbors, you look down the street and you're like, oh, that's the park we used to play in. And when that happens, these stories just start to spill out, right? And you just start to remember these things, and it really unlocks some memories that are otherwise kind of tucked away. And it's always really fun to see. And I got to say, the very first time that I used the Rendever platform with my own grandfather, who's 91 years old, we were up until 2 a.m. just walking around the streets of Long Island. Like, he had the whole world at his fingertips. He wanted to bop around Long Island, and he still lives there.
That was perfect. Now, where can I find out more information? Let's say I work with a senior care home and I wanted to be able to get more information about this. Where can I go and find out more info?
Yeah, come to our website, rendever.com. And honestly, our website is full of videos, photos of people who are reacting and really magical moments. So if you're interested, if you know anyone in the aging population, by all means, come learn more. We're also on all social media platforms, so please connect.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And I'm sure we will be in touch over the course of a couple months and see how this continues to grow. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you both.
All right. And now we are going to be heading on out to a commercial break. If you want to get in touch with us, if you want to ask a question, you can hashtag TechTime Radio, or you can always call us at 1-888-298-5569. And we'll see you after this commercial break. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, man, what's up?
Hey, have you ever had any deadbeat roommates?
Oh, yeah, way back in college, in the good old days.
In the good old days? Did they even have electricity back then?
Yeah, except we used wax tablets.
Okay, all right. Well, Nutility is the utility platform that makes utility management seamless by selecting your service provider, splitting a single bill amongst roommates, and then shutting off your service when it's time for you to move out.
So they shake down my roommates instead of me?
Well, did you ever have a problem with your roommates?
Doesn't everybody? Jeff, if you're out there.
Nutility reviews your preference and sets up all the utilities for you. Kind of like selecting a power provider that gives you the best price and then splitting it between your roommates. So no more Venmo charges passed around the house or having to ask Lazy Larry to get his payment in for the utilities this month.
Well, that's nice.
It is nice. And not only is it nice, but as a TechTime Radio listener, you can get your first 3 months for free at Nutility.com when you use the code TECH3. Again, go to Nutility.com. That's Nutiliti. Sounds like utility, but it's Nutility.com to get your first 3 months for free using the code TECH3.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, a new show here on KKNW that explores a variety of topics and timely issues for making mid to late career transitions. I'll be here every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock bringing you guest interviews, career transition advice, and great stories to guide you to what's next in your career and life. Gain a renewed sense of purpose for your next phase with a positive, forward-looking approach. Get ready to be re-energized, recharged, and reignited Wednesdays at 3 o'clock.
Hey Mike, now that we're at a commercial break, what are you doing for that hard-to-find gift for Valentine's Day? That's someone special in your life.
I have a couple of people that's kind of hard to shop for, so I don't know yet.
Let's take a look at Wild Gallery. WYLD.GALLERY. Wild Gallery is the premier online gallery specializing in Native American art.
Hit me.
My favorite is After the Storm by Jason Parrish. This art from the Navajo tribe is the perfect picture for my office. Working from home, I'm noticing my art needs to be updated. The pictures of dogs playing poker is not cutting it on my virtual meetings.
I really have my eye on the Black Eagle painting by Nakona Burgess, who is from the Comanche tribe. It was painted in 2018.
Absolutely. Take a look at the fine art gallery at WYLD.GALLERY for all of your gifts to be shipped within the United States.
Yeah, that's great.
Again, check them out at WYLD.GALLERY.
Okay.
And you'll be impressed. Wild Gallery is the premier online gallery specializing in Native American art.
Oh, Mike, we got a great show today, and we are still, we're still always running out of time.
Always.
We always, I only did like 14 pages on ours. But welcome back to TechTime Radio. We're glad you're here today. We are going to be enjoying our whiskey, but right now we're going to get into a segment that we call Protect Yourself Today. And our guest is Nick Espinoza. This is going to be joining us.
This is the drinking segment.
Protect yourself today.
All right, welcome to our Protect Yourself Today, the segment where we talk about security breaches and security issues across the globe. Joining us from, probably from his office. I'm sure he's doing that. Nick Espinoza is our guest. He is from Security Fanatics. They are a cyber, a cyber consulting company. And so we are excited to have him on. We are going to immediately start talking about Mimecast. So hopefully he's joining us right now.
Yeah, I see him.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Welcome to the show. We're doing fantastic. So let's get right in. Nick, we're excited to have you, and hopefully you're going to become a part of our show like once a month.
Great.
And we kind of move our Protect Yourself Today as kind of the main segment instead of just right after our type of deal. So let's get right off into this. We may get some phone calls that will come on in, and if so, we'll have that taken care of. We may get some hashtag items, but let's talk about Mimecast, a cloud-based email management service. Microsoft Exchange and Office 365, they're the number 2 provider for security, was compromised. Now, they were compromised this week, and they made an announcement on Tuesday. Specifically has to do with the Solarwinds breach that we have talked about originally on our show back in, I think it was November or December, whenever it came on out. We immediately talked about it. Yeah, because
that's when you went off on
FireEye. I can't stand FireEye, so I went off on them quite a bit. And then they tried to hack into my YouTube account and try to change my passwords all the time, and it didn't work. But that's okay. I won't say that they did that. So tell us a little.
You just did.
Okay. All right. So Nick, as a security expert, tell me a little bit about the SolarWinds issues, and let's talk about Microsoft's provider Mimecast being compromised.
Yeah, so I think it's important to note that SolarWinds itself, the big bomb dropping breach that pretty much has half of the cybersecurity community probably in Alcoholics Anonymous at this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that actually happened in December. That's what FireEye discovered. They designated the vulnerability. It's known as Sunburst. Mimecast is actually different than that. Mimecast has publicly stated that they did not actually use the SolarWinds product that SolarWinds had compromised. That's known as Orion. But the attacker, essentially the actor, and the cybersecurity community basically believes it's the Russian cutout known as APT, or Advanced Persistent Threat 29. You might know them as Cozy Bear or Fancy Bear from the 2016 election and earlier than that. They have actually been using a very interesting technique to break into Microsoft Office 365 instances. That's where Mimecast comes in with this, because essentially when you are establishing a connection, and Mimecast offers a lot of different services like spam filtering for enterprise corporations and stuff. So when you are establishing a connection to, let's say, send your email out from your Office 365 account to wherever it's going, or somebody sending you something, essentially what Mimecast is doing is creating a encrypted connection via a certificate. The little green lock you might see on your browser, for example, that's a certificate connection. Essentially, APT29, the attackers that hit SolarWinds were able to actually replace that certificate with another valid certificate that they had compromised, which then allowed them to potentially capture your email, send it wherever they wanted, look at your other products, that you were running, and possibly get information out of you. So it is a huge, huge deal. And Mimecast isn't, a fly-by-night, like two guys in their garage offering services. They are a large corporation that is catering to governments and enterprise corporations worldwide. This is a huge problem, and I think we're going to see SolarWinds just fallout from these attackers, that breach for years to come.
So the SolarWinds, when I said the breach was probably the biggest breach that has ever happened, we talked about that back in December. I said this is a big deal, and we didn't even know the ramifications when it first came on out of all the impact that it has been across the technology sector. How are you guys as a security company, how are you guys dealing with companies that are asking you, what do you do about SolarWinds? How do you prevent a breach like this from happening moving forward? What are some of the steps that you would consult with? I know that you have your 5 steps of security that you talk about in your TED Talks and everything that you do that, but what would you actually use to, or tell somebody to protect themselves, or a company to protect themselves?
Yeah, so this is a little different than the 5 laws of cybersecurity, which was one of my talks. But what we are looking at here is the quintessential supply chain attack. Meaning, if you're running a business, you didn't actually get hit, but somebody that is supplying you with a product or a service that has your information or is protecting you is the one that got hit. And so everybody has to disclose. We are going to see the fallout of this from years. And what we're doing in this industry, I think, is essentially reorganizing how we are looking at our supply chain. There has been a huge discussion since about 2017 or so in cybersecurity on one, identity management, because we see so many stolen usernames and passwords in the dark web. So how are we defending our users? But the other big conversation has been supply chain. In other words, I can make my company as secure as I can, but at some point I'm extending trust to a vendor that is going to be supplying me with something. And by virtue of that, now we are attempting to get assurances from that vendor. In the case of SolarWinds, they were actually, quite frankly, a bit of a hot mess. We found out that in late 2019, they had gone through a security audit. Somebody had found, whoever audited them had found that the password for their public-facing infrastructure that was compromised was literally SolarWinds 123. I mean, that's like what you put on your luggage.
Put on your luggage.
I mean,
that is your luggage tag password, right?
I mean, my God. So by virtue of that, I think what we are seeing is a real push when it comes to compliances. I noticed with the previous guest, you talked about Hipaa compliance. That's for healthcare. PCI has credit card. We have a new standard coming from the U.S. government for DoD and DHS contractors known as CMMC, and the focus has been to validate the supply chain. So now you are asking your vendors, wait a second, I'm not going to trust you right out of the gate. You tell me how you are protecting yourself, what compliances and certifications you have. And I think that's where we're going with this. Everybody missed SolarWinds. Everybody. The Department of Homeland Security has a very sophisticated threat detection system that protects the government called Einstein. That missed it. The enterprise firewalls of the world missed this because essentially to make SolarWinds work, they have their own protocol. Everybody whitelisted it, basically saying we're going to allow this traffic to go back and forth on our network without any issues because it's SolarWinds. We trust SolarWinds, and quite frankly, in cybersecurity, trust sucks. So that's going to be a huge
error.
Yeah, it was human error. It was every breach is always human error, right? I mean, it's the simplest level of con artists, simple level of stealing basic stuff. It all goes back to that. Well, Nick, I appreciate that. I know that our show is going along, so I have to move on to a couple other areas that we're going to be talking about. But I absolutely want to have you back next month, and we're going to be talking about some other cybersecurity information. If somebody wants to get your expertise or get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
Well, you can follow me at Twitter at Nick AESP. I do daily videos and podcasts and like YouTube, for example, / Nick Espinoza. Or you can always email secured@securityfanatics.com.
And you can always get a hold of him once a month as our special guest for Protect Yourself Today on TechTime Radio. You like how I do? You like how I do that?
That was a good plug.
I like that. All right, Nick, thank you so much for joining us today. We are excited, and we'll talk to you again later.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, bye-bye. So Nick is we're just opening up now the vault of Nathan's connections for technology. It is very large, and so we're going to start having more and more people come on in and talk about stuff. It sounds much better when he talks about it than if I talk about it, right? So if I talk about it, it's like,
well, he has clear sentences.
Wow, that's right. Okay, all right. Well, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come on back, we have Mike's mesmerizing moment, and we have some gifts to give away. So we'll talk to you and see you after the break.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
Your business deserves the same expertise as that of a Fortune 500 company. If you need a CIO-level service, why hire a full-time staff member at $250,000 a year when you can get this on-demand service for fractions of the cost? As your CIO on demand, we'll give you the steps you need to take so as to minimize interruption to your business and profitability, and provide you and your business with training and education to prevent future attacks. To get an efficiency review for your business today, contact us at www.ee-services.com.
Skip and Sharon, hosts of the Psychic Spectrum radio show, are a prominent psychic couple. Besides hosting an exciting weekly radio show, they offer fans the Psychic Showcase and a fascinating speakers bureau. And their Talking to the Other Side events are not to be missed. Join their live events and even schedule a private psychic reading. Get started at psychicspectrum.com. That's psychicspectrum.com.
Your business deserves the same expertise as that of a Fortune 500 company. If you need a CIO-level service, why hire a full-time staff member at $250,000 a year when you can get this on-demand service for fractions of the cost? As your CIO on demand, we'll give you the steps you need to take so as to minimize interruption to your business and profitability, and provide you and your business with training and education to prevent future attacks. To get an efficiency review for your business today, contact us at www.ee-services.com.
Ace Hardware is a helpful place with prompt, friendly service, knowledge, and the little things that make a big difference.
Service.
Selection.
Advice.
Community involvement.
Competitive prices.
Convenience.
Located near you.
And the things you need, such as
house keys,
lawn and garden,
plumbing,
electrical,
hardware,
grills,
outdoor living supplies,
and even nuts and bolts.
When you visit Ace Hardware, you'll be greeted at the door and given the help you need.
So come visit us at Ace Hardware in Evergreen Way in Everett, Lake Stevens, and now Stanley.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Welcome back to Tech Time Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mum. We're going to go right into Mike's mesmerizing moment because we're running out of time here.
Always running out of time.
This is Mike's mesmerizing moment, presented by Story Coffee. Visit storycoffee.com.
I think the biggest thing that I mentioned it earlier is that it doesn't matter what the technology level is. It all boils down to human problems.
When you talk about passwords and compromise,
whitelisting,
Yep.
The stock market, there's this idea that economic theory used to be based on the idea that people make rational decisions, and that's not true.
It's not true.
No. So we do things that create these problems for us, and technology has to pay attention to that. So
that's your mesmerizing moment.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Is it mesmerizing enough?
It was mesmerizing enough. Yeah, I go It'll make me go
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Old Elk, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Well,
absolutely phenomenal whiskey. Oh, that's 2 thumbs.
Just do 2 thumbs.
We got 4 thumbs up.
4 thumbs up.
All right, now we got to give away some prizes. So we got Story Coffee and we have the Vivomi Pulse.
Yeah, hurry up.
All right, 1 through 1,000. Give me a number.
555.
Jeez, you have to do that. We have a Daniel Underwood, and I won't say something at something.com. Okay, we're on the Vivomi device. Now we're doing Story Coffee. Give me a number.
999.
900. GSCFAM at something.com. All right, perfect. They are both winners of our Story Coffee and our Vivomi device.
I'm feeling some pressure.
All right, I am Nathan Mumm. Glad to be a part of TechTime Radio. We got Mike Roday, David behind the board. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host